Shohei Ohtani, right?
Good job. Yep.
Is blowing everyone away. Earlier this week, he hit 2 home runs and got the win with 10 strikeouts in the same game. This being a slow sports day, we were wondering, would there ever be a dominant two-way player in the NFL?
I think there could be. I don't think there will be. But the only spot that I think would make sense would be wide receiver corner. And if that could translate. I maybe running back safety or running back linebacker. I don't think we're going to see it in the NFL. I think the Ohtani conversation is interesting because the conversation this week is he the best baseball player ever? And it's a fascinating kind of thought exercise because he's an excellent pitcher, but no one would argue he's the best pitcher in baseball. Top 5 maybe, but I don't think many people would say he's the single best pitcher in baseball right now. He might be the best hitter in baseball. Some people would say Aaron Judge, but he's certainly in the argument, but it's not definitive. So he's not the best pitcher in baseball. He's not definitively the best hitter in baseball, yet he's being discussed as the best player ever to play because he's the only guy that does both. And he's the only guy in 100 years that has done both at a high level. I think you can make the argument he is adding more value to his team on as a single person as any player ever, more than any player ever this season, because he is a top 5 pitcher and a top 2 batter, and with Judge hurt, probably the number 1 batter. I think it gets tricky because the other all-time greats did add two-way value. They weren't pitchers, but they were great fielders. So Willie Mays, King Griffey Jr., Barry Bonds were elite defensive outfielders, and at various times in their career, all of them the best hitter in the sport. So I don't think it's hands down. I do think he's in the discussion as far as not the greatest player ever as far as who's had the greatest career, but who has the most impact in a singular season. My answer for greatest baseball player ever my whole life has been Willie Mays, with the caveat of it's clearly actually Barry Bonds, but if you want to disqualify him because of the steroids, so be it. And Griffey, I think, gets the short end of the stick, so to speak, but I'm also partial to him because he's my favorite player growing up. I do wonder more. I do think this. We will see another Shohei Ohtani way before we see someone in football try to pull off playing both ways. Because anybody that knows anyone that made it to the majors, if you talk as a pitcher, if you talk to them about their high school baseball career, almost all of them were the best hitter on their team and were amazing hitters and then started focusing exclusively on pitching. Because of the success of Ohtani, I do wonder if we will see another freak show athlete like this say that I can do both.
Don't a lot of people say that Jackie Robinson was like the best baseball player?
I don't know. I don't. I think they say he's the most important.
Got it.
And Jackie
Okay.
was an all-time great, a World Series MVP, a league MVP if I'm not mistaken, and a great player. But he has outsized importance because he broke the color barrier. And he was. Yeah, I knew he won NL MVP. I just checked. And I don't want to shortchange what a great player he was.
No, yeah.
But if not for breaking, he is, a lot of people say they're correct, is the most important player ever.
Yeah.
But when it
Maybe
comes to
that's
the
what I'm
best
trying to
baseball player ever, the names that come up are Babe Ruth, Willie Mays, some people say Ted Williams, Barry Bonds, and lately some people have argued it could be Mike Trout. I don't agree with that. What makes Shohei so interesting is people talk about baseball as there's the greatest hitters ever, the greatest players ever. And then almost a separate category, the greatest pitchers ever. Like Bob Gibson, Satchel Paige, and Sandy Koufax, Roger Clemens, those guys. The fact that Ohtani, if he had played his whole career in the majors, might end up in the top 20 of both categories when no one else is in either, has any crossover, is what makes him unique.
Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show, and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.